Today we are entering the dark and mysterious world of the dark avant garde. These ritualistic and borderline demonic garments hold secrets that can only be uncovered through deep and meditative introspection and investigation. Not many of you will be able to handle the darkness that is found within, but stick around if you dare.
Just kidding. My personality did not change overnight. That is not the type of content I'm making now, although some content creators do be putting it on like that and thinking it's really cool. But despite the fact that I'm not a cool, dark, gravelly voiced, black and white, desaturated aficionado, I do appreciate some cool, interesting avant-garde clothing, especially the dark avant-garde stylings. I am more of like a edgy DIY punk type of style person, but the ways that I can get the avant-garde to seep into that, I really like to find that, because the interplay of those two styles is, I think, what works best for me, and I'm hoping it works for some of you too. So we have 3 pieces by some goats of the dark avant-garde. Okay, I have a piece right here from Macross. That's spelled like M-A+, and I think M-A+ sounds better, but like the plus is across, so it's like M-across. It's a little bit too cutesy, but you know, whatever. It's a cool brand. It's a really cool piece. We have a cashmere sweater hoodie, maybe, from Boris Bidjan Saberi, mainline. And finally, we have the granddaddy goat of the archivist dark avant-garde freaks. Yeah, you're freaks. Carol Christian Poell. This is a pair of pants. It's going to be really cool to check out. Dark and mysterious. We're going to check out the details of these pieces. We're going to see how they feel, how they fit, throw fits together, throwing fits. Here we go. All right, let's dive in. So this is a green, dark green, one-piece sweater from Macross, or like M-A+, whatever, by Maurizio Amade. That is the designer here. And this thing is wild. It looks simple, but it's not. First off, let's figure out what it's made of and stuff. Normally, I'd look at the brand tag. Doesn't exist. Normally, I'd look at the care tags. They don't exist. Why is that? There are no seams to attach them to. We've got the details down here on this removable tag here that is like accordions out. It's so weird. So on this piece of like muslin gauze type stuff, we get a model number, nice to have. Material, 100% cotton, no surprises there. Washing instructions only in specialized laundries. No regular laundries are good enough for this piece, okay? Made in Italy, love to see it. And finally, size and color, military green's the color. This is a 54. It's a big piece, but I was happy to get like an oversized piece here. Now this, it's just like on some pieces of string, which are like tied to a piece of red thread here. I'm assuming this is not supposed to stay on the piece, but let me know, I guess. So we saw it's 100% cotton. And when you get in here, it's like, I don't know, a canvasy or twill. That's actually probably the right word for it. Like a denim-y twill sort of material here. You can see that diagonal grain texture. And look at this, it's meeting here. It's not all going in the same way. And that's because, as far as I understand it, pieces like this and lots of the Macross pieces are made with a single piece of fabric. So he took one huge pattern here, and it's been folded and sewn into this form that you see here. So that's why it has no collar, right? No hem, no cuffs. It's all just left raw. And then, like, the pattern making is just insane. Look at this. You see it makes a cross in the center. This plus sign, the cross, is a staple of the brand. That's kind of how you know it's them without having any name tags or anything anywhere. But so, you've got this cross here, and those are like folded in to stitch down. Look at that fold underneath the armpit, and then that turns into the sleeve, right? Again, there's no seam down the side of this piece at all. So it's folded over under the armpit, and then it turns into the sleeve. and you get some more folding and stitching right here to get the shape of the arms right. It is like nearly seamless, and it's made of one piece. So the seam you do get, it doesn't start naturally. It starts right here underneath that and comes down the arm. You get another little piece here, but all of this is being done by just folding over pieces. It's like a piece of origami, you know? And the back is just very solid. I just love the natural rolling that you get here at the hem as well. And at the back, you can really see the folding that happens underneath the arms and such. It's such a cool idea. It's like if you have the spatial brain to be able to do something like this, it's such an interesting endeavor. So it's one piece of fabric. That's so cool, so innovative, so avant-garde, but we'll have to see if it looks good. I mean, I know dark green is my color. The style's cool. Crosses are cool. Okay, we've all known this since we were 12. Crosses are cool, right? So I'm hoping it looks good. All right, next up is a cashmere knit sweater from Boris Bidjan Saberi. Now, Boris Bidjan Saberi, BBS, they also have the 11 diffusion line, which is probably more commonly seen, but this is mainline. And I'll be honest with you, for the longest time, I thought that BBS stuff like this was just a Rick Owens substitute. I'll be honest about that, because I saw the stuff, I saw the similarities to Rick and the dark avant-garde stuff. I was like, okay, it's like Rick light, whatever. But over the past year or so, I've been starting to feel like BBS is better than Rick Owens. I think I like it more. Here's the thing, this stuff, it's like handmade in Spain, in Boris Bidjan Saberi's studio. It's finished with sterling silver hardware. It's so sick. The materials are so good. The craft is so good. And another thing I like is that Rick Owens is fully in the cycle, the fashion cycle of seasonal fashion and collections and stuff. BBS is kind of in a similar boat to what Carol Christian Poell, the next designer we'll look at, what they do, which is like, Boris feels like he's kind of figured it out. He doesn't make new styles a lot of the time. He's just creating the same styles in new iterations year after year. And I respect that. Like, that's style over fashion, you know? And it's craft over the churn of seasonal fashion. So I respect that. But unlike the last piece, we get a lot of tags here. So let's take a look. So first up is a leather tag here. Really cool piece of like super thin leather, and embossed into there you've got Boris Bidjan Saberi, the brand name. And then there's actually an 11 down at the bottom, and I made the mistake, same with on these tags here, I made the mistake of thinking that meant it was the diffusion line 11. It's not true, just the two bars 11 are a sign of the brand, so just because you see the 11 doesn't mean it's the cheap diffusion line. And you can tell it's mainline because it's handmade in Spain, and it's made with seamless knitting using 100% cashmere wool with sterling silver details. So that's high-end stuff. That's not how they do things with like the streetwear diffusion line. And by the way, just so you know, this is from Autumn Winter 14-15. So now we know this piece is pure cashmere, handmade, all that stuff, insane. But what we haven't talked about yet is like the fit, because this, like that's like a turtleneck, right? No, wrong. Let's turn this around. It's a hoodie, kind of. Like that's a hood. It goes over the head, but it's got an interesting shape, I'll tell you that. Oh, by the way, one other thing. Mainline BBS has the metal, the sterling silver tip here to the little tag. So sick. But okay, there are a lot of details here. So it's black, it's cashmere, it's hooded. You can see it's kind of like a ribbed hood, but then you also get this geometric ribbing here. Like this is solid cashmere, and here it's ribbed, and it kind of goes in and then back out to the point where you get to the bottom and it's like fully ribbed. Super cool. And now I've turned it back around to the front, and you can see the same thing. It's like solid, and then it turns into ribbing, which widens out here at the neck. And then coming down the sleeves as well, it turns to ribbing, and you also get thumb holes. I love thumb holes so much. It's like a staple of the dark avant-garde, and I will never get tired of it. I wish every long sleeve anything had thumb holes. They never go out of style. Again, since we were 12, we knew this. So this is a super cool piece, and I'm excited to see how it looks. All right, the final dark avant-garde piece we are looking at today is by the granddaddy, the grand wizard.
Oh God.
Of the Avant Garde, and that is Carol Christian Poell. Now this is a designer known for its like drippy boots and stuff, crazy leather pieces, and just like avant-garde materials, some real weird materials that you may have seen some videos about recently, like crazy designer. But we have a fairly simple piece here, but there is more to it than meets the eye. First off, we can take a look at the brand tag here. It's like a woven piss yellow tag, and that's all the information I get on this piece. It doesn't have care tags, so if you know like what season this is from, any viewers out there, I know there are some CCP freaks out there, let me know. I tried to source, and match to some other listings online and stuff, but I couldn't find this exact piece. Let me know. So one thing that I've always liked about CCP's pants design is that they're shockingly wearable while always having at least one element that makes them kind of interesting or makes you go like, huh, weird, which is something that the dark avant-garde is great at, making people say, huh, weird. But this one, it's kind of claim to fame. The interesting piece, there's two things I would say that are most interesting about this, and they are both up in the top portion of the pants. But first, let's talk about the basics. Again, we don't have care tags. I don't know what it's made out of. I'm assuming this is pure wool, and it's like a classic black twill material. Very, very nice, silky smooth. They're pleated as well. The pleat starts towards like the top of the thigh and goes all the way down to the hem. It's like a very, very modern fit on the pants as well, like shockingly modern. And I really like this finishing at the bottom. Like, that is insane. I have never seen that on a pants hem before. This like tape finish, super cool. And at the back here, you get some button pockets with some really nice darting as well. Like, this is just some good tailoring, bar none. Oh, and by the way, those have like loop fastenings, which look really great in that kind of like military way. Sick. But let's talk about the interesting avant-garde bits, right? First of all, the first interesting piece is that it's kind of like waistless. Like, do you see this? The waistband is like, what would that be? Like half the size, a third the size of a normal waistband. And then the bell loops kind of hang down to the pants themselves. It's something that from a distance, you wouldn't think twice about, but when you get up close, you're like, that's not how pants are supposed to look. It's just kind of odd, but interesting. And then the other really cool part about these is here. So since it doesn't have a waistband, it doesn't have a button. Normally there'd be like a button right here and then the zipper or more buttons, right? This one is just straight zipper. Really nice chunky zipper too, but that's not all. So that's how a pant normally works, right? It just unzips right here. Not this one. This one has a double zip. So you could, like some people do with their jackets, oh my God, this is gonna be amazing. One sec. Boom, right there. The options are limitless. You could have the bottom of your fly open and the top of it open to different levels. Oh, the styling options are crazy. Really though, I don't know that I'd ever use the bottom zipper in real life, but like, that's so interesting. So cool, right? And the last thing I wanted to talk about here is just the clearly high level of craft going into the tailoring. Like, it's a really well-tailored piece of pants. At the inside the fly, you've got like a flap for buttons here, and there's all this material here that's like a canvasy type of material as opposed to the twill. I'm guessing this is like a cotton. And then it's lined with this nice cream striped material, very silky, very soft. Just a really well-made pair of dress pants. So as you can see, the details on these pieces are much crazier than the stuff that we usually cover on this channel. When we're talking about ERD, whatever, it's like refined punk stuff, luxury stuff. This is like weirdo stuff and doing really interesting, innovative, never before seen stuff. But we need to know like what it actually looks like when you wear it. So we're gonna need some other pieces to throw around these so we can put on some fits. So normally I'd hang stuff up here and talk about the different pieces that we need to put together a fit, but I think with the pieces we've already looked at, that's enough for a fit, other than shoes. So I just have one thing I want to show you here that I'm really psyched on. And it is this pair of shoes that I thrifted for $10. They're by a company called Rogue, which I can't find any information about, and they are made in Portugal. But they are like crazy dark avant-garde compatible. They're a beautiful pair of brown dress shoes, but look at the details here. Like actually, this looks a lot like the Macross piece, the way that it had those stitches and overlapping parts. But like that lip that goes around, it's like split in the back here. The quality of this leather, like this would fit right in at any shop that stocks like Guidi type stuff. Like it is just a beautiful, like handmade pair of great classic leather shoes. Like these things are insane. I don't understand, but I think they're gonna be cool. All right, I do not usually do all dark avant-garde pieces for my outfits. I usually try to sprinkle them in. So I'm curious to see how this goes. And we're gonna start off here with the Carol Christian Poell CCP pants. And these things are so cool, like crazy underrated. I did not expect to like these as much as I did. The fabrication is so nice. Like honestly, I said pure wool earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some silk woven in to the yarn or whatever as well, because it's just so smooth. And the fit is awesome too. Like I said, super modern fit. These would work with a wide array of 2024 things. We'll talk about it more in a sec, but first let's get these shoes on. Again, these were the Rogue leather shoes that I thrifted, made in Portugal. The leather quality on these and just the like handmade style of the construction is just shockingly good. I can't figure out who this brand is, but I like it. But back to the CCP pants, the much more important part. I don't know if I would call it low rise. I guess it is low rise, but only by like an inch, because you're just missing a little bit of that waistband. But it's really the double zipper that is super interesting, because without the button there at the top of the waistband, it opens up the zipper much more to be like more visible. And then the fact that there's two zippers at the top and bottom, it makes for a look that you just do a double take. Like what? That's not normal. And that's what's so cool about a piece like this, is that it's subverting something in a very subtle way. But beyond that, the fit is great, the feel is great, the length is great. This is one of my best pants pickups in a while, and I really wasn't expecting that. But now let's move on. Let's move on to the Boris Bidjan Saberi sweater. This thing's pure cashmere. It's absurdly nice cashmere. It is so good. Like, I am a materials whore. I will be the first to admit it. I like materials over almost anything else, and this is some good cashmere. But the style is super cool. It's very long line, super long. The contrast between the ribbed portions and the solid portions are really nice. The thumb holes, always a good touch. Never gonna argue with that. And then you get this like turtleneck cowl, scuba hood, balaclava type thing. I don't know what to call it. I don't know if it always looks good from every angle and every way you could put it up, but like it's cool, it's interesting. I actually think I like the way it looks down the most, just the look of that hood hanging back and the big neck cowl coming up. I like all of that. And the feel is just like, mwah, chef's kiss, no notes, perfect. All right, but now I'm most curious to see how this turns out with the M Across sweatshirt here. Because this one is in like a different lane almost, I would say. Like, let's put this on. Interesting. It has a kind of like stiff kind of feel to it, but very like self-consciously and intentionally so. It's an oversized fit, so the shoulders kind of drop, but I really like the plus, the cross across the chest, the little touch of red there. The green color is really nice, and I actually think when it comes to the outfit, the entire outfit, we've got a kind of split fit here. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. The tops, this Boris Bidjan Saberi and now this Macross sweatshirt, fit really well together. I like the way these stack and play against each other. But then they feel a bit at odds with the bottom portion. The CCP pants and the Rogue shoes have a bit more of an upscale tailored feel, a little bit more of like a vintage feel as opposed to like an Avant Garde feel, a modern feel. So I don't know, it feels like a tale of two fits here. I think I could take the top half and put it with a different bottom and have it work better, and vice versa. But that being said, I enjoyed diving in to the dark and mysterious and demonic and ritualistic and yada 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 world of the dark avant-garde. It's not a place I visit often, but I do enjoy my excursions to these dark lands. All right, that's the video. Welcome to the dark avant-garde. You have been enlisted. You are now part of the tribe that I also am barely a part of. Like, people probably think I'm a poser on this stuff, whatever. I like fitting it into my wardrobe as I can. Let me know if you think that makes any sense. Let me know if you think it looks good, it looks terrible. Like, subscribe, comment, all these things that help me in the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you next time.